I love that no matter what, we're in this together. So this handsome guy is Solomon. He's my partner and he's also an artist and very creative. We paint together.
And this beautiful soul here is Adwoa. She's an artist, a content creator, just a beautiful person.
As we act as one artist, our artist name is Adeche, and that is basically an amalgamation of our surnames. So my surname is Bochi and his surname is Adeche. So we kind of just like melded that together. And now we're Adeche. So we first met at an art exhibition in Manchester. So we were both exhibiting as separate artists. And then we found out that we went to the same uni and studied the same course, which is architecture. And we kind of just hit it off from there.
I guess we kept meeting in different situations, different friendship groups. And eventually, we started talking. We knew we had shared interests. Definitely, Adwoa said something about making these brilliant slutty brownies, which if you've never heard of them, they're these brownies that sort of have like 3 layers, one with an Oreo, and I think there's a cookie dough layer, and then a brownie layer.
Yeah.
Amazing. I was like, got to have that. And that's when we sort of like met up, started talking. I was in the year above, so I had, a few tips and tricks to sort of help some of the work.
Teaching me how to use Revit.
Exactly. Individually, I used to explore photorealism, so using like graphite, black and white, pencils and charcoal. The themes was always celebrating, powerful black people. So we're talking about like Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, Nina Simone, just anyone that I felt would sort of be like a powerful black figure that can inspire people.
I used to explore just powerful black women through my illustrations and paintings, and there was always an element of my culture, so Ghanaian Kente was always in my work in some way, shape or form. And now as a creative duo, all of our work is always inspired by African mythology, folklore or culture in any way, shape or form. So we explore deities, folklore stories and stuff like that.
Yeah, just learning about our heritage.
Yeah.
And then being artists able to sort of visualize that and, show other people, because, there is that power in representation. And I'm Nigerian and Adwoa is Ghanaian. So what's really great is us being able to explore our cultures and sort of being enriched by our heritage, and then from there also exploring other cultures around the continent, because Africa's a really diverse place. So I feel blessed to sort of wake up every day next to you, honored that every day is sort of like a new day, new opportunity, and being able to sort of navigate this world, our creative process together. Always fills me with joy.
Oh, so today I just feel very grateful for you. I'm grateful that I get to go on this journey with you and to build and create and dream together. And you always encourage me in ways that I don't even realize, and you're always pushing me to believe in myself. I love that no matter what, we're in this together.
Hope you've been enjoying this episode so far. You can find more of the couple's creative work on their NewComma profiles. And if you don't know what NewComma is a social media platform for African and Black creatives all over the world to share their work by building a portfolio, connect with each other, and to find opportunities. Enjoy the rest of the episode.
One of my favorite projects that we've worked on together, I guess it would be our first solo exhibition that we did at the Oxo Gallery in South Bank. So it is our first, exhibition of our body of work, and it was just such a great process. It was stressful because, curating an exhibition, all that work that goes behind the scene. There were so many pieces of work that we had to create and sort of like finish very last minute. Some we did in like 2 days, 3 days, sort of like to actually finish a whole body of work. But it was just so sort of like empowering, sort of seeing it all, talking to people. There's a big difference between people seeing our work, online and then seeing it in person, and then watching how people sort of react to it. It's really priceless. So Yeah, I think that's one of my favourite projects that we've done together.
Mine is the 2 paintings that we did that were commissioned by the National Gallery, and to this day those are like the 2 biggest paintings that we've done. So it was like a massive project that we undertook, and we made the paintings from scratch as well. So we were like in the workshop at like 2 a.m. in the morning, like trying to cut pieces of wood and like make a canvas and stuff. So that was really exciting as well, because it was like the next step in our creative journey, like, you know, really depicting folklore stories and like a moment in a story. So yeah, that's mine.
Another one that I would say is one that we recently did working with the BBC Arts Culture. We got to create this sort of our interpretation of, you know, some of the works that was inspired by, let's say, Michelangelo, but we created our own version based on African mythology and the stories that we had as well. And it was just so great to be able to put so much nuance into it and know that, you know, a greater audience of people would be seeing it and sort of relating it to some of the old, really famous artists' work, but then being able to learn something new, something novel, and really seeing that there's as much depth in, you know, the history and the culture that we have on the continent as people see with some of the, you know, like the Renaissance work.
As a creative couple, especially as one who like, we literally paint together on the same canvas at the same time, a lot of people always ask like, how do you do that? Like, I couldn't do that. But I think it's a lot to do with trust. So we have a lot of trust in each other, and our creative process has kind of become one, which I find really cool.
Yeah. I think what we always say is that you sort of have to let your ego die, and that's also why it's important for us that, you know, when we're creating together, it's not we're seeing it as, oh, you know, I'm one artist, she's one artist, and we're sort of battling it out sort of thing. It's we're one artist, and the work sort of creates the way it needs to. You know, there's action, reaction, you work spontaneously off what someone else does, and you let that be itself that beautiful process where you might not necessarily know where it's going to end or where it will take you, but when you embrace that journey of collaboratively working together entirely, that process is a part of the art.
Another thing to bear in mind is communication, because communication is key. So for instance, when we moved down from Manchester to London, we both were like on the same creative path. We were working in architecture, and we were like, we don't really want to be doing this full time. So that was kind of the start of our transition into full-time artists and content creators. And that move had a lot to do with communication. We had to make sure we were on the same page, and that's why it worked so well.
So you can find us on NewComma. Our name is Adeche Atelier, and yeah, everywhere else is Adeche Atelier in one way or another. Hopefully the SEO works in the way where you'll definitely come and find us.
That's Adeche.
Atelier, studio.